Aloha CapCo, y'all, and welcome back to Just&True. Again, sorry so much that I haven't been so active. I have been really trying to kind of just get work-life situated. It's been busy lately for me here on Maui. I hope all's good with you guys. I know you guys have a little bit of a colder winter going on right now, and my heart and prayer goes out for everybody that's dealing with that wretched cold. I think right now it's about 77 degrees. Not to brag, but bragging. Anyway, the only reason I'm really making this video is there's been a lot going on. The military movement, which is kind of the thing that I used to specialize in, has kind of picked up a lot. Right now is a very crucial time to get information out there. There's one subject that I did hear a lot of misinformation and false information going around the intranets and the webs and such about, is these drone fleets that are flying around mostly on the southwest and up and down the east coast as well, but based mostly out of Colorado and going down south. They are in multiple states, so don't get me wrong, when I say based out of Colorado, I don't mean that they're only flying out of Colorado. I mean that that's where the company that got the contract for. First of all, I want you guys to know that the information I got came straight from the source. This information is coming out. It's public to you as well. If you guys want to, you can look it up. This is all stuff that I highly suggest. Just like anything you see, go out and do your own research. Don't listen to anybody, especially people who put out ads on their videos. That's just my own 2 cents. I could be totally wrong. Do your own research. Anyway, story goes back to, I think, May 31. Excuse me, I wrote down some notes because I am not at the house like I usually have my notepad behind the screen, so it doesn't look so awkward, but I have it down here. I'm going to be looking down. Forgive me. But all that's important is the information. Warrens Air Force Base, on the 5th of May, actually, Colonel Bonetti actually took over the air base there, and the drones now are connected directly to that event. When Colonel Bonetti took over, he went in, and what it really is at Warrens Air Force Base is the 90th Missile Wing, and at the 90th Missile Wing they house some of the Minuteman missiles, the ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads, and he went in and he had to recount and readjust for all of the nuclear warheads, as a big bird or colonel or general has to do when they take over a post, or a wing command is what they call in the Air Force. And most of you know that I was in the Air Force at a point for about 4.5 years. Well, when he did this, they got about a month into their objective of going through these, and they realized that the EED, the electronic explosive device on these ICBMs were actually, there's the soldering, the cold soldering was coming out, so they had to get it resoldered. So they actually sent out a company to do this cold soldering, and the company that could do this, forgive me for a second, CapCo. This is a company called CapCo Incorporated. CapCo Incorporated has some of the largest private military contracts out in the United States has ever had, actually, historically. They mostly upkeep nuclear devices and communications, and they have contracts out totaling in the sum of about $8 billion a year on the American taxpayers. And CapCo went over to Warrens Air Force Base by the demand of Colonel Bonetti to redo the soldering on these EEDs, also known as explosive or electrical explosive devices. It's kind of the device that they use to actually create the ICBMs. So at Warrens Air Force Base, the EEDs were resoldered. They brought out CapCo to cold solder in these new EEDs, and when CapCo got there about a month into it, they started realizing that there was about 3 missing nuclear warheads on these ICBMs, and that was just a month in. Mind you, Warrens Air Force Base on a low end has about 150 ICBMs in the Minuteman missiles, and they're about 170 kilotons, upwards to 1.2 megatons on weight for the explosive ordnance themselves. So there's some pretty big bad boys, and all of those Minuteman missiles have the capability of carrying up to 12 nukes, so it'd be 450 nukes times 12. They got a month into it, decided and found out that they reported to Colonel Bonetti that they were missing these about 3 warheads about a month in. So that was only a month in. They continued going, and they found more and more missing ordnance. Colonel Bonetti tried to put a stop to this information getting out. It did go out. Right now he's facing some pretty big fines and fees. He's also facing imprisonment depending on how the wing commander before him was discharged and how he handled the nuclear device. But long story short, they ended up going to this CapCo ended up going to, if I can find it, Black River Systems. Black River Systems is one of the largest developers for communications, telecommunications, and remote drones out there. Black River Systems was then told by CapCo to find these missing explosive devices about, say, 2.5 months ago. And then they stepped up the efforts now because of the threat from Iran. We've been getting a lot of threats from Iran. As you guys know, the tensions with Iran has been heating up. We have a lot of Iranian and other cold agents here, sleeper cell agents with the United States at U.S. bases, if we see the attacks on the U.S. bases, and also sleeper cells and civilians. So they're worried that these unaccounted for nuclear devices has gotten into the hands of these sleeper cells. So Black River is contracted by CapCo through Warren's Air Force Base and Colonel Benetti to find these missing ICBMs, and that is what those large drone fleets are out there doing right now. They're mostly using heat signatures as well as Geiger counters, believe it or not, to try and find radiation signatures and heat signatures across about 6 or 7 different states. Again, this is pretty big because we have multiple missing explosive devices. Now, a lot of people are probably going to say, well, this has happened before, and it has, absolutely. I'm not some sort of fearmonger. I'm just posting information that should be out there because I saw, again, a lot of craziness where people said that these drones are looking for firearms owners, which would be almost impossible to do with drones, to look for firearms. They'd just be mapping housing. And to tell you the truth, when you file for a firearms license, you tell them your address anyway. They don't need to map out those. I also heard some other ridiculous stuff, and it's not true at all. This is facts. You can look it up for yourself. Black River Systems has an $88 million contract to find disturbed dirt near old shafts, old ICBM Minuteman shafts that are just been abandoned throughout the United States. They think that that's one of the best places to have one of these things stored at, and they're also looking for disturbed dirt around some of the rural areas. So that's kind of what's happening right now with the drones. That's exactly what they're looking for. The other thing is this company, CapCo, not only did they replace the cold soldering on a lot of explosive devices, well, they're actually in a massive lawsuit right now for selling faulty trigger systems for Javelin missiles to the Marines. They're also selling faulty mechanics for larger equipment with their metal. Their metal was faulty because they sent out third-party contracts to China, Micronesia, and Taiwan to build these parts. So another possible threat is just another one, because of avalanches, as you guys know, is the fact that they could have contracted out the actual EEDs themselves. And if that's the fact, then if we subcontracted our EEDs out to China or something like that, that'd be a major threat in itself. But the drones themselves are looking for those devices. If they find them, who knows if we're even going to hear about it. But that is what they've been doing for the last 3 or 4 months. But it's not very old. I mean, it's not very new. It's been happening for a while now. It's just the fact that they increased the budget, so they increased the amount of drones that are out right now. So hopefully we're going to see some good stuff come through. Hopefully we find some of that. If not, then it'll just be more missing nuclear devices. But this isn't something. The only reason we actually found out about any of this is because the VA sells their public records. So the VA has been caught selling its records to anybody, the highest bidder. They've sold it to all over the world, and some of that information was leaked. So thanks to those dirty bastards that are selling our VA information across the world, we found out that this is happening. So thank you guys. So if you guys want to do your own research, which I highly suggest you do it, don't take my word for it. I'm just some stoner that lives in Maui. Black River Systems, Warren's Air Force Base, Colonel Benetti, and CapCo replacing the EED cold solders on the Minuteman ballistic missiles. Anyway, it's been good talking to you guys. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I'll definitely probably pop in now and then. I just thought that this is a very important video to get out there because of everything that's happening right now. I wanted people to know that there's explosive missing ordnance out there and take precautionary steps that you think are viable for you and your family to take. Also, do your own research so you know what's going on. And just to kind of quiet down some of the fear-mongering, yes, there's been massive gun grabs going on and infringements on our Constitution. I do not think that these drones have anything to do with it. I just think that our energy and our research has to be put in the right areas, and that's my contribution to this is that we should, when it comes to what's going on in Virginia, what's happening with constitutional rights all over America, these drones aren't there for that. They're here for something that's much more diabolical in nature. Although, again, I do think that one of our biggest threats right now would be the government taking away our guns. You guys probably get that by now. Anyway, Much love. I do appreciate everybody sticking through. Again, I'm super sorry I haven't been able to post as many videos, but I will be posting videos as this information comes to me and as I find out other situations. Other than that, mahalo. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year's to everybody, and yeah, thanks for coming in. Later.